Hello students, how are you? Hope you all are fine. So students, we are going to discuss today our chapter number 1, crop production and management. That is meant totally for your project work. That means you don't have to write question answers of this chapter in your fair notebook. Crop production and management. Learning about cultivation of crops and several activities undertaken by farmers in crop production and its management. Basic practices of crop production. Cultivation of crops involves several activities undertaken by farmers over a period of time. These activities or tasks are referred to as agricultural practices. They are as follows: preparation of soil, sowing, adding manure and fertilizers, irrigation, protecting from weeds, harvesting, storage. Preparation of soil. The preparation of soil is the first step before growing a crop. One of the most important tasks in agriculture is to turn the soil and loosen it. This allows the root to penetrate deep into the soil. The loosened soil then helps in the growth of earthworms and microbes present in the soil. These organisms are friends of farmers since they further turn and loosen the soil and add humus to it. The process of loosening and turning of the soil is called tilling or plowing. Plows are made of wood or iron. Before plowing, soil needs watering. The plowed field may have big pieces of crumbs which have to be broken with a plank. The field is leveled for sowing as well as for irrigation purposes. Agricultural implements. Before sowing the seeds, it is necessary to break soil to the size of grains to get better yield. This is done with the help of various agricultural tools. The main tools used for this purpose are the plow, hoe, and cultivator. Plow. This is being used since ancient times for tilling the soil, adding fertilizers to the crop, removing the weeds, scraping the soil, etc. This implement was earlier made of wood and has now been replaced by iron. It is drawn by a pair of bulls or other animals such as horses, camels, etc. Hoe. It is a simple tool which is used for removing weeds and for loosening the soil. It has a long rod of wood or iron, a strong, broad and bent plate of iron is fixed to one of its ends and works like a blade. Animals pull it. Cultivator. A tractor-driven cultivator does nowadays plowing. The use of cultivator saves labor and time. Sowing. Sowing is the most important part of crop production. Before sowing, good quality seeds are selected. Farmers prefer to use seeds which give a high yield. Activity: separating good seeds from damaged ones. Take a beaker and fill half of it with water. Put a handful of gram seeds and stir well. Wait for some time. You will see some of the seeds start floating on the water. Damaged seeds become hollow and flat. Good seeds settle down. This is a good method for separating good healthy seeds from the damaged ones. Before sowing, let us study about the tool used for sowing wheat seeds. Traditional tools. The tool used traditionally for sowing seed is shaped like a funnel. The seeds are filled into the funnel and they pass down through 2 or 3 pipes having sharp ends. These ends burst into the soil and place seeds there. Nowadays, the seed drill is used for sowing with the help of tractors. These tools sow the seeds uniformly at proper distances and depths. It ensures that the soil covers seeds after sowing. This prevents damage caused by birds. Sowing by using a seed drill saves time and labor. An appropriate distance between the seeds is important to avoid overcrowding of plants. This allows plants to get sufficient sunlight, nutrients, and water from soil. Adding manure and fertilizers. The substances which are added to the soil in the form of nutrients for the healthy growth of plants are called manures and fertilizers. Manure is an organic substance obtained from the decomposition of plant or animal wastes. Fertilizers are chemical substances which are rich in particular nutrients. Fertilizers are produced in factories. Some are urea, ammonium sulfate, superphosphate, NPK. That means nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Differences between fertilizers and manures. A fertilizer is an inorganic salt. Manure is a natural substance obtained by the decomposition of cattle dung, human waste, and plant residues. A fertilizer is prepared in factories. Manure can be prepared in fields. A fertilizer does not provide any humus to the soil. Manure provides a lot of humus to the soil. Fertilizers are very rich in plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Manure is relatively less rich in plant nutrients. Advantages of manure. An organic manure is considered better than a fertilizer. This is because it enhances the water holding capacity of the soil. It makes the soil porous, due to which exchange of gases become easy. It increases the number of friendly microbes. It improves the texture of the soil. Irrigation. A living being needs water to live. Water is important for the proper growth and development of flowers, fruits, and seeds of plants. The plant roots absorb water. Along with water, mineral and fertilizers are also absorbed. Water is essential because germination of seeds does not take place under dry conditions. Nutrients dissolved in water get transported to each part of the plant. To maintain the moisture of the soil for healthy crop growth, fields have to be watered regularly. The supply of water to a crop at different intervals is called irrigation. The time and frequency of irrigation varies from crop to crop, soil to soil, season to season. Sources of irrigation. The sources of irrigation are wells, tube wells, ponds, lakes, rivers, dams, and canals. Traditional method of irrigation. The water available in wells, lakes, and canals is lifted up by different methods in different regions for taking it to the fields. Cattle or human labor is used in this method, so they are cheaper but less efficient. The various traditional ways are most, pulley system, chain pump, Dackley, and row hut, lever system. Pump is commonly used for lifting water. Diesel, biogas, electricity, and solar energy are used to run these pumps. Modern methods of irrigation. Modern methods of irrigation help us to use water economically. The main methods used are as follows. Sprinkler system. This system is more useful on an uneven land where sufficient water is not available. Perpendicular pipes having rotating nozzles on top are joined to the main pipeline at regular intervals. When water is allowed to flow through the main pipe under pressure with the help of a pump, it escapes from the rotating nozzles. It gets sprinkled on the crop as if it is raining. A sprinkler is very useful for sandy soils. Drip system. In this system, the water falls drop by drop just at the position of the roots. So it is called a drip system. It is the best technique for watering fruits, plants, gardens and trees. The system provides water to plants drop by drop. Water is not wasted at all. It is a boon in regions where availability of water is poor. Protection from weeds. If we see carefully the wheat field, we see that there are some other plants grown along with them. In a field, many other undesirable plants may grow naturally along with the crop. These undesirable plants are called weeds. The removal of weeds is called weeding. Tilling before sowing of crops helps in uprooting and killing of weeds. The best time for the removal of weeds is before they produce flowers and seeds. This is done with the help of a khurpi. A seed drill is used to uproot weeds. Using certain chemicals called weedicides also helps control weeds. These are sprayed in the fields to kill weeds. They do not damage the crops. Spraying of weedicides may affect the health of the farmers. So they should cover their nose and mouth with a piece of cloth during spraying of these chemicals. Harvesting. The cutting of a crop after it is mature is called harvesting. In harvesting, crops are pulled out or cut close to the ground. It usually takes 3 to 4 months for a cereal crop to mature. Harvesting is either done manually or by a sickle or by a machine called harvester. After harvesting, the grain seeds need to be separated from the chaff. This process is called threshing. This is carried out with the help of a machine called combine, which are in fact a combined harvester and a thresher. On small holding of land, do the separation of grain and chaff by winnowing. Storage. Storage of food grains is an important task. If the crop grains are to be kept for a longer time, they should be kept safe from moisture, insects, rats, and microorganisms. The fresh crop has more moisture. If freshly harvested grains are stored without thawing, they may get spoiled or attacked by organisms, losing their germination capacity. Hence, before storing them, the grains are properly dried in the sun to reduce the moisture in them. This prevents the attack by insects, pests, bacteria, and fungi. Farmers store grain in jute bags or metallic bins. However, large-scale storage of grains is done in silos and granaries to protect them from pests. Dried neem leaves are used for storing food grains at home. See, next we have to discuss methods for increasing crop production. First, crop rotation. Some plants like wheat, rice, etc. consume large amounts of nitrogen from the soil. Once they are harvested, the soil is depleted of nitrogen and may not be suitable for plants which require more nitrogen. The farmers then grow a crop of leguminous plants like pea beans, soya bean and groundnut in the field. This is known as crop rotation. It is mixed farming. When 2 or more crops are grown in the same field at the same time, it is known as mixed farming or mixed cropping. For example, cotton and groundnut, wheat and chickpea, wheat and mustard are grown in the same field. The crops are chosen so that the waste products of one crop fulfill the requirements of the other crop. Next is field fallow. Field fallowing is a natural method for the improvement of the field. in which no crop is cultivated for one or more seasons. Grasses and herbs grow on the field during this period and animals are allowed to graze. The excreta of the animals, remains of the crop, and leftover grasses and weeds form humus in due course and replace the nutrients in the soil, making it fit for cultivation. Next is high yielding varieties. For this we are having what? Hybridization. To increase crop production, we need to have crop plants with desirable characteristics. The crop plant should be resistant to diseases and drought and should be able to give higher yield. This is achieved by scientists known as plant breeders who experiment with different varieties of plants to produce such plants having desirable characteristics through the process of plant breeding or hybridization. Next, we have to discuss Green Revolution in India. Dr. Norman E. Borlaug was able to bring a tremendous increase in wheat production in Mexico by the method of hybridization in 1960s. Following him, Indian agriculturalists imported high-yielding varieties from Mexico and crossbred them with Indian varieties of wheat. This resulted in tremendous increase in wheat production in India. This is known as the Green Revolution. See, last we have to discuss animal husbandry. The breeding, rearing and caring of livestock is called animal husbandry. And livestock means domesticated animals. It is also considered as a part of agriculture. Now let us discuss some domesticated animals and their uses. First, cattle. For example, cows, buffaloes and bullocks are known as cattle. They form an important category of livestock. Cows and buffaloes provide milk and other dairy products, so they are known as milk animals. Bullocks are used in agricultural operations such as plowing. Second is sheep and goat. Sheep are reared for wool, meat and skin. Goats are reared for wheat, meat, milk, hair and skin. Third is poultry. Poultry farming or rearing of poultry birds like hen, chicken, ducks is done for meat and eggs. Fourth is fishery. The practice of breeding and rearing of fish on a large scale is called pisciculture or fish farming. This is done because fishes are a very rich source of proteins. Last one is apiculture. The rearing and breeding of honeybees is known as what? Apiculture. And honeybees provide two important substances, honey and wax. Honey is used as a medicine, okay, and honey is what? It is a thick sweet tasting fluid produced from the nectar of flowers. So student, this is all about our chapter number 1, crop production and its management. So have a nice day. Goodbye.